Hi, I'm Bruce Berry, the Northwest Oregon and Washington, Montana Fly Company rep. I'm down here with Caddis Fly / Oregon Fly Fishing Blog, and today we're going to put together a hi-vis purple haze. Okay, so for a purple haze, pick your favorite dry fly hook. This happens to be a 14. I really like them 16, 18. I do fish 14s, even down into 20s for blue wing olives. They'll cover PMD spinners. They'll cover mahogany like mahoganies. They'll cover March Brown spinners. It's just a good general fly anytime fish are on the surface. Purple haze is in the game any time of year. This is something that was a Montana Fly Company original pattern by a guy named Andy Carlson, so I'm going to try to tie it pretty much in his style because I think that's the best style. You know, through the years I've tried to tie them thorax style with purple thread, purple dubbing, purple whatever. The key to this fly I think is that purple sexy floss and the elk hair tail. So, elk hair for the tail, sexy floss purple, light bright, spooled stuff. Don't get too hung up on the body material. It's a spandex flex, whatever that. Lots of different companies make it. It's generally the same family of stuff, but don't walk out of a fly shop because they don't have that brand that you're looking for. Obviously, MFC is what I work for. That's what I like the best. And the originators of the fly. The widow's web for the post, we're gonna do standard Carlson's is with a white wing. We're gonna do a little bit guide style, which is slightly heavy hackle and a little bit high vis. So this ought to be a fun one. This is also a great fly. Nowadays we're using more European nymphing stuff. You can hang the smaller 18s and 20s off the back of a purple haze. If they're not taking them right on the surface, they'll eat the nymph in the film. So really versatile fly. And then of course the traditional take on the Adams, which the purple hazes uses that hackle, is brown with grizzly mixed into it. We're gonna go with a variant that has both colors all into one hackle. That's the way I like to do Adams style stuff. And then for thread, we're going with a purple 6/0. Probably want to move down to 8/0 when you get into the 16s, 18s, and 20s. All right, so step one, we're going to put some thread on, and we're pre-prepped for our pink and white guide style high-vis post. Maybe a wrap or two forward and see how that goes. 2, 3 should be what I need. And sorry for my fingers in the way here, but when you get good at posting, you can take your offhand and help spin the bobbin around the post and help get the thread climbing vertically. I'm actually surprised. You know, in 2004, 2005, I'd hand these out to fly shops and they would sit on a back desk in an office for 2 years and no one would fish them. Then it kind of turned into when did fish start eating purple? And I kind of thought, well, maybe fish always ate purple dry flies, but we just started fishing them. But in that time, I'm surprised we've never seen a high-vis purple haze. All right, and then, so our wing is posted. I might just shorten that a hair for video sake. All right, next we've got some elk stacked. And that's gonna be roughly 1.5 times the gap for the length of the tail. Let's see if we can get that in there. A couple firm wraps to keep that from spinning. We want to keep that up on top of the hook, work our way back. That looks like a size 14 tail to me. All right, take our butts and trim those out. Whoop. Now, if I did that right, those butts are going to come and move up towards the post so that I don't really break the continuity of the body with this flex wrap. You'll see it's super simple. The material floats really well. I'm going to start that in to help bulk this body up because these flies with this Sexy Floss or whatever brand you're using, it does not bulk up very much like dubbing does. So I'm going to start it from the front, put a little bit of tension on it, work my way to the back. And right now we're going to add the hackle. Now the hackles have a top side, shiny side, and a dull side. Generally for a parachute, if you put the dull side nearest the tire, and when you wrap that, they're going to umbrella down and are going to float better. So we are aiming for dull side towards the tire. We'll tie that in on the shank a couple of wraps, stand it up and repost. Okay, bring the thread forward to the eye. And here's the trick with this to build body taper. Obviously you can see this stuff is stretchy. So when we start the fly, I want to put a little stretch on it for the first few wraps. Okay, get that in there. And as we move, just touching wraps, maybe slightly overlaid. I'm still putting tension on it. And as I come working up the body, I'm going to relax the tension. I don't want to wrap it loose, but that'll actually help build some body taper. Now I've barely got any tension on it. Okay. 2, 3 wraps ought to take care of that. Stretch a little bit, get rid of that excess. Now we just come to the hackle, and if I can get a wrap or two of thread on top of the hackle, which I'm seeing, that is a good thing, because then when the fish bend the hackle or the wing post over, it won't tear the hackle over the top of it. So there's what, 3. And again, we're going guide style hi-vis so you can see it. And that also means maybe a few turns, extra turns of hackle. Instead of 4 or 5, we're just going to load that post up. There we go. And the other thing that's nice about size 14 is you usually get a hackle that doesn't require a hackle plier. All right. Probably going to call that good. Now, some guys will tie off on the post. I'm going to show you a different way on how I like to do the parachute. So I'm going to keep pressure with my right hand, forward hand, and as I lift this up, I'll get some of those hackles out of the way, and we can see some of those fibers are trapped in my finger. I'm just going to take those out with my scissor point right to where the eye of the hook is. So now, 1, 2, 3, 4, snug it, lift it up, trim it, and that should be a good durable tie out and a whip finish. All right, bring that hackle back down, stand up the wing post, and give that a little trim about purple haze, guide style, hi-vis, and a little bit longer hackle and a little bit more hackle. Thanks for stopping by and looking.